Hello, Navajit, can you allow my? I'm not able to share my screen. So, host, please. So, let's start. So, how many of you know Android development? How many of you know? Just let me know once. So, I will start that way only. Hello. No one. Dot name. We are finding views from our class. In our class, we are referring ID and then name. So, everything happen on runtime. So during runtime, it will traverse a lot on our class. Suppose we have a big complex app. There lot of view reference is available. So every time when we will like refer any ID, it will basically go in our class and starting it will start checking first line, second line, third line, and like that it will check until last from where it will find this particular name. It will just refer at runtime. So this is tedious and for complex app it will slow. One second. Okay, so it will slow the Android app opening process. Then we refer that text view variable with this methods set text, and we used to set any variable. Suppose we have a variable like this one, um, over a string equals to, suppose we have a variable like this. So basically doing earlier we were finding our view, and then on that view by calling set text we were setting our name like view binding. We just have to call bind. And what is the advantage of this? We don't have to like find the views. Totally we are eliminating this process. At runtime we are not finding any views. Just we are using class. There is a binding class that is being generated on compile time when we are enabling our view binding. Enabling view binding, there will be a class something like not class, it is a on this class or on this object we are referring our these variables. So with this we are eliminating runtime hierarchy traversal. So our app will be lot faster than earlier. We are like saving null pointer exception. We are checking type safety. This binding class only. Binding class just refer our XML, and in that XML it will try to find ID, and with that ID it will create a type. Suppose we have created text view, it will just text view object like this one. here we have created text manually. In binding class, just create object for us. So with that, we are making like making aware our binding class to that this will be a type text view only. So with that, what we are awareing our Android app that please refer class and don't traverse whole R class and don't search for ID. Just go and just on the compile time only and bind every view with binding class. This way we are eliminating two line of code. We are enhancing runtime exceptions and lot more things are happening in background. Next, with this view binding, there's something called data binding that came into picture. So what is data binding? Data binding is nothing. It is like earlier it is we used to setting data with this name set text. Now what we are going to do, just we will wrap our XML, wrap our variables with XML only. Like see here, it is a add the equal to and two curly braces. With these curly braces, we are just letting XML that this is the variable name that will like that will be referred after like data from internet or getting data from app or getting data from user, and it will be displayed in our XML. So we can achieve this. To achieve this, just we will go into build.gradle file and there to enable view binding, add this line in our Android section. In that section we will add view binding enabled equal to true. So it will just enable our view binding. To enable data binding, we will just use this line of code. Use view binding or data binding. So what is the difference between those two words, view binding and what are the advantage? What are the disadvantage over the data binding with view binding or over the view binding? What are the disadvantage? Main advantage is that we now we are separating concerns. Anyone else getting problem with my voice? Just unmute one people your mic and let me know my voice or not. Is it problem with my side or getting problem on your side? Hello, hello. Anyone? Oh, okay. 1 minute. फैन बंद करो तो एक बार. Now, now. Okay. Just let me know when you are getting trouble with my voice. Okay. So with data binding, what are the advantages? We use data binding. We can use like logical expressions in our XML code only. Suppose we want to bind our name from uh, code part to view part. So we will just use this logical expression. With this expression, we can bind our class file to XML file. So how we can achieve this? Suppose we have a layout file. In layout file, two text view and one button, and that layout file is wrapped with linear layout view group. So what we will do, we will just wrap that whole view, whole XML code with layout, and what we will do, we have to do nothing. Android framework will do the work for us. After wrapping with layout tag, Android framework will generate binding class for us, and each web ID. Suppose we are creating an ID with name like this one, mm, this one, this, this one. For each ID, it will create a reference in binding class, and we can just ref using our binding reference variable like this one. Mm, Here binding dot name dot text, and we are setting some name. So with this XML code will be auto updated with this auto updated. So we can say that our view is aware of every changes. So with that we can achieve data binding. Earlier in traditional way we were like setting every and putting codes. Suppose we want to calculate two numbers sum. So we used to create two then one button, and in that button we used to get text from edit text. Suppose one name is num1 and edit text 2 has id num2. So we used to get num1 dot 2 string, and then we were casting that thing into integer like that. Percent, and we were using dot text string. This way of getting data, and then for second number we were repeating same thing. Suppose this one is some variable edit text 2, and this one is edit text 1. So what we are doing here, we are getting value from edit text 1, and we are from edit text 2, and as we know that every views holds data as a string, so we are as a string, then converting it into int by passing in both field, and then we are storing it into sum. So this way store sum in some variable, and then what we will do, suppose we have another text view, so we will find that text view result equal to find by id dot sum, and result equal to, then we will set, sorry, result set text. Like this we set result. For basic operations we used to write this many code. Now what we will do with data binding, just we will find that text using binding dot, suppose we have this one, text one, okay. Then what we will do, plus binding dot edit text, and we will set that. We don't have to write this code also here. We will just XML code. Suppose this one is our result. Uh, this one is our result variable. And column ID equal to plus operator ID equal to, sorry, column, like this. So what we will do, we will set the text here only, like this. Or can use data binding with data class. So what is data class? Data class is nothing but same. In Java we used to told that class DTO class or bean class. Anyone know what is DTO, what is bean? If anyone know, just unmute your mic and let me know. Am I speaking Chinese? Like, am I getting on like topics? Okay, no issue. So, what we were talking? Advantage. Sorry, what is data class? Data class is nothing but simple class. Like suppose class name. This class name is student. It has two variables: private string, first name, and another one is private string, last name. It has two variables. So notice one thing here. Created this variable with private. So how we will access these variables outside this class? Because this is limited to this class only, and we want to access these variables outside this class. We have to generate getter and setter. We will generate getter and setter. To generate getter and setter, we have to make corresponding methods or any method return and set values on these variables. Suppose we have created getter and setter with this name. First name, this variable name suggests get, means trying to get. हेलो, बस 10 मिनट. हाँ 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 ठीक. Hello, I am getting call for like we don't have enough time, so we will speed this thing up. So I guess you know what is get. I just write it out one more time. So in get we have to return name, first name. So what we will return first name. This method should be public and return should be string. With this we can return. Now we want to set data in this variable. So how we will set data? Same, we will create a setter. First name, we will take a parameter. We will first name from user. So we will apply string first name, and we will set that first name with this dot equal to whatever first name we got from user, this first name. So we will set this first name on our, that way we can like make use of this class. So this class is nothing but having some extra methods like toString and other. So this class is also called as data class. This class is class, and sometimes this class is called poso. So there are a lot of name having some different methods, having some different functionality. One or two methods extra with it can have another like have has key to a string. So this is data class. In Java we have to write this much of code to generate a simple data class. But in Kotlin, why I am coming to Kotlin? Because nowadays Kotlin by vast community plus officially Android announced that they will use Kotlin as their native language. With Android, like discussion of Android, we should discuss Kotlin also. We should use Kotlin. Then we will get lot of support from communities. Suppose we want to suppose we want to implement basic thread. Suppose UI, we want to separate our some process to our backend code. So earlier days we have to implement runnable, then there are a lot of we have to use, but with Kotlin we will use coroutine, and that will be kind of magic. Suppose this write in Kotlin. So how we will write in Kotlin? Basic, just here I have written somewhere this one. I'm writing here. What we are doing here, suppose in this class we want to generate constructor also. So what we will do? Student, this will be default constructor, and student string name, comma string last name. Same, what we will do here, this dot name equal to first name and last name equal to last name. Like this we have generated constructor. But what we are doing, we have created class, and this class name should be student. Then with this we are creating constructor first name, and we are setting default value 2 here. Subject and insertion will happen automatically. So these things are being happen, or these things are being used in Android industry. So you should use these things. In that way you can achieve lot more like performance, lot more standardization in your code. Plus you will follow the principle, design principle, coding convention, and many. Plus you don't have to like create a, for creating a any basic Android app. Earlier days it was time frame was 1 month, but now with these things whatever I've shown, using these things you can create those apps in like 10 days, from 1 month to 10 days. So with that, the cost of use, so you will be a good developer if you are using these things. Plus one more thing we will discuss, then we will wrap it out. We should follow some design principle in Android like MVI, MBPM, or any other. For that, I will show you a diagram. This one. This one is a MBPM. So here, what we are doing, just we are getting data from SQLite database or network, then passing it to repository, and this is being observed by our view model, and view model will observe that data and pass it to her. So basically, these things are being practiced. But if we want to improve our app further, like any other app, suppose Facebook, you don't have internet connection and you are opening, you will see some feeds without internet too. So how these things are being like done? These things are being, suppose you are sleeping, uh, habit is like at 1 o'clock every day you slept. So what we will do, we will run our service worker in back. After 1 o'clock, it will take some internet data and download things from internet, like suppose this is a social or suppose this is a shopping cart. So what we will do, we will track, we will just go to our server and find the data, and we will save that in this database, not in this database. We will save here, and repository will always refer this. Changing anything, we will change here, and that will be synced on network too. If you don't have internet connection, this will be there. When you will get some internet connection, it will be synced here. In that way, nice post. Right? Are you getting my screen? Anyone? Hello? Okay. Actually, it's this one. No, not network problem. It was like on tabbed. Someone switched my tab. There is some. Hello, host. Can you switch my tab? Hello. For this field. No idea where this is. On. Hello. 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes. Hello. Okay. So 40 minutes limit was. Oh, I can't share. If you are getting my screen, then that is good. Are you getting that like diagram of MBBM? Hello. Okay. So I was discussing and it was not visible. So again we will discuss. Uh, so this is the base of this diagram. Here we are communicating with this database. Any shopping cart, social messaging app will communicate with this database. This is the SQLite database, and this database is sync with network. So using this, we can optimize our performance of app. Suppose in some internet connection is poor, like right now I am having some trouble with internet. So suppose I was using with this poor internet connection, what will happen? Our data will be lost, or there will be a loading bar on our app that writing your data, and it will be there will be a circular loading bar. So to avoid that things, we will save every data here, or retrieve data from this database only, and internally this will use network layer and keep, keep syncing data. So with this way you can optimize our app or gain lot of performance. So who will keep those tracks? This repository will keep those tracks, and from this it will read, and view model will observe our repository, and what it will do, it will live data, and live data will keep sync between this UI controller and live data. Thing is unidirectional. So where we have to use observer design pattern. So these you should learn. Observer design patterns you should learn. Suppose you are going for any training in India, you will get those whatever I told here, like these things. Find VYID. These things you will be taught. Find VYID. So avoid these things. Don't learn these things. That we want latest trends. What is latest trends? Data binding, view binding, and design patterns. Just know the basics of Kotlin, and after that you can jump over these things. These are the modern Android development trends. Whatever you were learning in traditional way, find view by ID, and those things are gone long time back in 2017 or 2018, gone. If you are using now those things, then you are not worthy for Android development industry. So make yourself more aware. With this we will conclude. Any questions, queries? Because we don't have time. I was seeing that hmm, we can demonstrate some app using these things, but we can't do in this. So any questions? Anyone? Hello.